Okay, so you can see now it's going on 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Bones are back in the pot, and turkey's in the fridge. This is pretty much done, right? You can see. Crunchy. Here's my jar. There's a strainer. And there's your spoon. And then, or I can take that out and then just pour that without, I have to lean this up against something. And this is pretty tasty. So I got lettuce downstairs in Auntie ShaMay's room. So I really should make salad and have that on top of salad. Okay, so October 30th, 2020, before I start canning this turkey, I thought I'd look at this. This came from Canadian Tire. I had it delivered. I haven't opened the box yet because I've been busy for the last couple of days. So we're going to open the box and we're going to see what we got, right? I told you I want one more like that. Hold on. Okay, so basically, you can see, it's just simple, right? They didn't get anything real fancy. It was enough money, though. Between the two of them, it was $210 with delivery. And this was on sale, like $60 less. And those were on sale. Instead of $65, they were $44. But I still want to get one more box. Okay, this one's my box. It's getting empty, or maybe that's my box. Anyway, I recommend getting these boxes because they last a long time. I just want another one on hand. And then, I don't know, they gave me some little something I've never used before. And then we know I got the jar sealers coming, right? So, I'm basically going to try it out with one thing. I cut it, it works. I'm going to seal it, and then I'm going to put, I don't know, something inside there. And I'll seal it, and then if it works, and I'm putting it back in the box, I'm going to put it away. And I have it, right, people? You understand what I'm saying? Because my other one I've had for years and years and years and years and years, and like, you know, it works, but I don't want it. You never know when it might go on you, right? So now that I have this, I'm feeling good. So the soup, the stock, the turkey stock is really tasty. It's still on the stove. I've turned off the heat, and it's cooled down. I never got a chance to strain it yet or put it in the fridge, so I may just strain it and use it as is, which more than likely will have too much grease in it. I mean, technically I really should be putting it in the fridge, but I only have so much time. I cleared off my counter here, as you can see. So now I'll put this away after. I'm gonna seal something. I don't know what I'm gonna seal. I'll find something in here to seal, something simple. Right, just make sure it works. You know, you don't want to pack it away and use it in 4 months from now, and then you find out it doesn't work, and then you phone up the company and say, hey, right, I need to make sure it works. So I don't know what I'm going to vacuum seal, but anyway, I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so this is a musty box right here. So before I pack this box away, I'm going to wash all these jars later on. I don't know about tonight, but we'll see. But before I pack the box away. And then, after you take out the jars, you just take a damp cloth with a little bit of soapy water with a bit of bleach on it, and you just wipe it down, right? And let it dry. And then tape where you need to tape. You can see it's coming apart here, right? And then put your clean jars back in. And you're good to go, right? So anyway, you see I got more there, but we'll probably start with these ones first. You know, I'm just wondering where they got these jars from, because they're so mixed-matched in terms of brands, right? I'm thinking they're going to Value Village and maybe buying them at Value Village. Maybe not all of them, but maybe some of them, and flipping a profit. right? But they deliver, so I mean, I guess you can't get mad at them, right? Yeah, so none of them have chips, so that's good. So anyway, I've got, I thought I had 4 cases of quart-sized jars, but it turns out I don't. I don't know why, but it is what it is, right? I have 2 cases of these. I like this size. So anyway, it's all good. Okay, couldn't have came at a better time. Hold on. Okay, so just plugging along. It's 5:30. Right? Now this is getting real cool, so I'm going to put this in the fridge. And it looks like this is still somewhat frozen. I was afraid of that. Right? But I have a defrosting tray, so I might just put it on a defrosting tray because I kind of want to get this done tonight. I'm going to just take a bit more of that liquid and I'm going to just top this off because it gets heavy, eh? It's tasty, people. Okay, do you remember these? Well, that's what I got that on right now. They work. It'll take a little while, but they work. So I'm just going to flip this around and, you know, probably do this for the next hour or 2. And I'm actually thinking of doing some corn. Just hold on a minute. Okay, so this is just pretty much food video, right? What's new? Wait till you see what I have to do after this. You'd think I'd be done, right? Anyway, when I went shopping, I bought like the squash and I bought something anyway. I bought some corn. You can see. So I've got 6 corn here. And I've got new carrots downstairs. So I think, and I got a big bowl yet of this turkey that's in the fridge, right? So I'm going to be, I washed 14 jars right now. I'm shy. I'm short one case of quart-sized jars. One of those, well, the first woman that dropped off my jars. The first woman that dropped off my jars, the first batch, she didn't give me two cases of quart-sized jars. I don't think so. I think she gave me, I don't know. Anyway, I can't stress out over jars, right, people? So I think I'm going to do some of these jars, because I have a fair amount of broth, and it's tasty, okay? And if I put carrot in it with corn, in some of the jars with the turkey and the broth, and then it all cooks together, oh boy, it'll be so good. So I've got 6 corn here, so I think I'm going to maybe cut up some carrots, get the corn ready, and maybe do, well, I don't know, we'll see how much corn and how many carrots I cut up and just distribute it between some of the jars, right? I don't have to do all the jars. You know, I can start with 7 jars with carrots and corn and turkey. I can do 7 jars of just turkey by itself with the broth. And then I can see what I've got left. And then I'll decide what I want to do after the fact, right? Because I've got 14 jars right now. I'm thinking I'll probably get into 2 cases. I'm creeping between 18 and 24 jars. Just because this is straight up turkey breast, people. Okay. Now, mind you, it's raw, right? But I'm doing this one different. This one here, this is why I want it more unthawed, right? This one here, I'm going to bake it halfway, but I'm going to spice it up first with something. I'm not sure yet what, right? And then, you know, give it a bit of water, right? And I'm going to bake it, but I would prefer to have it pretty much unthawed, right? This one's not so bad, right? So, hold on. Okay, so it's mostly unthawed now. And this is what I've done. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this, just a little bit, not too much. Okay? And I'm going to sprinkle it. I'm going to rub it. Like I'm going to sprinkle, right? I'm not going to do it yet. On up and down, both sides, right? In between, whatever. Just a little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to throw that in there and just shake it like this. Right? Now, because this is still a little bit frozen, I would suspect that it's going to give off a bit of juice. Right? Liquid. So I'm not going to give it too much water. Just a little bit. I'm going to wait and see what happens in terms of it releasing its own juice. Right? And then, of course, I'll taste. Well, I won't be able to taste it because I'm only half cooking this, people. This is not like it's beef. Right? But I'm sure it will be fine. Because you want the nutrients of everything, right? I just don't want it really diluted, so I'm not going to put a lot of water in it because I've got already the broth, which is in the fridge. And see, I'm just going to do very light, right? Because I don't want the seasoning to overtake the flavor of the broth. But then I don't want this completely bland either, right? You know, it's going to just add a little bit of salt, right? Do you see? Not hardly anything. And then I'll flip it around. Right. Like that. This is a lot of turkey, people. There's a lot of turkey. Right. A lot of turkey. Hold on. Okay, so you've seen what I've done. Right? And again, it's going to lose its own water between the vegetables. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is because if you hot pack your corn, for example, even your carrots a little bit, right? You tend to get more in a jar because it releases the air, right, when you cook it. So, you know, things shrink up, right? So that's kind of what I want. So you can see what I've done here, right? I might just give it a little bit more water, and I'm just going to monitor it, right? I'm going to cook it, I don't know, we'll just see. I want it kind of half cooked. And then I'm going to cut them up into cubes, and by that time, the carrots, everything, that all will be cooked, and you'll get the juice, right? I mean, I don't know, like, I can only do 7 jars at a time in my canner. This is more than 7 jars, and I've got that turkey in the fridge too, so I might be doing this tomorrow as well, right? I don't think I'm going to get all these jars done tonight because you have to cook it for 85 minutes, right? 85, or is it 90 minutes? 90 minutes for chicken. Sorry, turkey. Quart size. Quart size jar of boneless turkey, or chicken I would assume too, is 90 minutes. You're pushing up there like a fish, because fish is 110, 100, depending on what recipe you read. Better to do it at 110, but I've done them at 100 because of books, right? So anyway, if it has a bone in, apparently it's less time for a quart. But none of this has bones. So I don't think, you know, at 90 minutes per pop, I'll be lucky to get 2 done tonight and then probably start tomorrow, right? And do it in the morning. And then it's done, right? It will be done. So I'm going to get this in the oven now. I'll put a lid on it. Oh, I need a little bit more water. So I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so you can see I'm taking off the grease here, right? This is the broth I made. It's really, really good. I guess people in the States are starting to riot again because the cops killed a 27-year-old mentally disturbed black man, and I guess somebody else was being chased by cops who was black, and he had a little scooter or something and ran into some car and died. So now everybody, well, not everybody, but quite a few people are starting to riot and loot in Philadelphia, I think it is. Right? Kind of makes you think that's what the cops want. Right? You know? They don't need to kill somebody just because they're waving around a pocket knife. But that's what they do. Right? So, I don't know. Personally, I think there's going to be a civil war breaking out, but it won't be white and black fighting against each other. It will be the general population fighting the government and the dirty fucking cops. Yeah. And then they'll bring in those super soldiers. Well, they're already here. They're just undercover right now. That's my opinion. I got them on tape with Ciera, looking like zombies with their distorted faces, because there's something wrong with them. Wait till I do a video on that. Like a video. Trying not to dwell on it. So, that's what you do. I mean, it's pretty good, right? So, I'm pouring some of this one into this one, and I'll heat up this one and put this one back in the fridge and add as I need, right? Okay, now you can see the turkey that I baked. Sorry. Cooked in a pot to make the broth. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few pieces of this. Right? See, this is the dark meat. Right? Guess I could take some of that. I'm going to take it all, because I want to just have little bits and pieces of it. I want to mix it up a little bit, right? I just think combining the two might be good. So if I'm doing 7 jars, that's the equivalent of almost a jar. And we want to spread it out, right? So, I don't know. Because the other one's going to be half cooked, right? So hold on. Okay, so yeah, I'm boiling. Yeah, I will. I'm boiling Andre some corn. Right. So I would suspect you just want to move it around a bit, right? Now remember, I'm not trying to cook this one right through. Right. Oh boy. That one, it's still cold in there. I felt it. So maybe what I should do is take a knife to it. Right? And just break it up a bit. And then I've got that one ready. And I've got the stock ready. Okay, so I ended up cutting it into pieces, and it's still cold in the center. So I just move things around. You can see what I've done, right? And I'm going to end up searing this, I think, after the fact, in a frying pan, in a cast iron frying pan. I'm just going to sear it on all sides before I cut it, so you get that little extra flavor in there, right? Hold on. Okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here. All I know is it's 10:30 at night and I haven't even got my first canner in yet. So, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just browning it quickly. Right? A little bit. I used a bit of oil, but then I decided to use that fat. Right? Okay? And we're going to grab some of this. Okay. This is a lot of turkey, people. I'm not going to get this all done tonight. No. Oh, no. I'm going to see what I'm doing, right? High. So that one's done, right? I'll cut that up. See what I'm doing? Now you can't taste it because the turkey is still raw, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up into chunks and I'm going to mix it in there. I'll cut that one up into chunks in a few minutes, mix it into there, and then take whatever that is, corn, everything, the whole, all of it. I'm just going to mix it into there. This is what I'm going to use in between frying. I should have seared it at first a little bit more before I threw the corn in, because you can see got a lot of liquid here, but that's okay. Right? And then what you want to do, probably cut it in the middle to see how far down it's cooking through. I'm not trying to cook it right through. Right? Just maybe halfway. Hold on. Okay, so you can see I left these just slightly bigger, but they're in around 1.5 inches maybe, right? You can see it's still pink inside. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, put that in there. I put the corn and the carrot and the juice. I'm going to mix it all up. That's what I'm going to fill up my jars with, and then I'm going to use the broth. Okay, so I'm kind of working fast here. I'm getting hot. I got almost 4 jars. So I have to do more, right? I should have made a bigger bowl. Here I'm just searing it quickly, just a little bit. Right? And then after, the stuff that's in the fridge is in the fridge. This is what we got so far, you can see. Right. So, let's do this fast. Yeah, you see? I turned off the oven already. It's already starting to cook some of these pieces right through, right? But that's okay. I'm getting hot now. I haven't even turned on the canner yet. Right? I'm leaving these chunks just a little bit bigger. I'm going to be in there for 90 minutes, right? So, in this case, I don't need to, well, I still want to add the corn, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that corn and I'll throw it in the frying pan. Where's my spoon? There.
What's up, Rob? Thanks for tuning in, brother.
A little bit more. I probably believe doing this wrong, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, what's important is that you keep it in the oven, in your pressure canner, for 90 minutes. As long as you do that, you're good. What? It's not a very good spoon. Dripping all over the place. Alright. What's going to make it tasty is that broth. Right? That's what's going to make it really, really tasty. This has a lot of juice in here. Just bring that up. And as that's just kind of cooking off some of that excess juice that I don't necessarily need, because I want the broth instead, right? That's why I'm doing it in the frying pan, the carrots and the corn. Right? I just threw them in the roaster to soften them up. Right? So I can get more in the jar in the end of what I'm doing here. Right?
No, I think that, I'm sure it's probably the flavor. Yeah. I heard he was a father.
So you see, doing it a little bigger. Just a little bit, not too much. I mean, like if you did a chicken leg or something, you know, that's a big piece of meat, right? So what you want is to have the liquid in there so that the heat can travel through, right?
There were some streamers that I saw earlier that I was questioning, like whether they were like on the BLM.
Now some of this turkey I'm noticing has a bit of fat on it, but it's getting late and I'm kind of rushing, so I'm not really taking it off. I took off just one piece, so I don't think there's too much in there, and it'd just be tasty anyway. So when this is doing what it's doing in the pressure canner, then I'm going to get the next batch ready. Sometimes that's just the way canning works, right? You're up till 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. You know? But when it's done, it's done. Right? And then I'll do whatever I didn't do tonight, tomorrow. Right? Now you hear that corn and that carrot crackling, so that means the liquid's gone. This one here is browned. that's good. I'll show you in a second. Get this going. I'm rushing. Alright. It's going to be so good. It's funny how these people never rally for fentanyl deaths, eh? One guy gets shot by a cop and everybody comes out of the woodwork. Thousands die by fentanyl and everybody sits on their ass. And falls for the old okie dokie. Ignore illegal organ harvesting. Pretend that it's not happening. Right? But talk about it at the dinner table. This should be enough now to fill up my 3 jars and to just top off what I've got there. Right? Let me just go wash my hands. I try not to cross-contaminate, right? That turkey was still a little raw. Do you see? Now I'm going to take this, because I took off some of the juice, because that's the juice I want. Uh-oh, hold on. What's going on? Something said manual. Okay. That's just from the oven, not from the fridge. The first batch I had stuff in the fridge. I didn't realize it was going to disappear as fast as it did, but it did. So I should have brought out one of my big metal bowls. You know, if I did this more often, quart-sized jars of chicken after a while, or turkey or whatever, after a while you start to know how much you need for how many jars, right? In this situation, I didn't know. And then I'm just going to mix that in there. You see that? Wandering eye. Right. I don't know. I just wanted the carrots and the corn in there. I don't know why I did, but I did. Alright. I should have enough now for my 3 jars. I should. Maybe all I'm going to get is 14 jars, people. 7 and 7, right? And then whatever stock is left over. Andre's already eating. Just don't push it down. Just maybe jiggle it like that. Okay? Turkey. So let me finish this. I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so don't forget to debubble. Right? I did 1 inch, even though it's going to lose a little bit of liquid, but it's going to come up probably anyway, right? Because the last time I did this with the beef, I left it a little shorter, thinking that the beef would release some juices. Honestly, it didn't make any difference. So, when you can chicken or turkey by itself raw, you don't add water, right? Because it releases juices. So I don't know what's going to happen here. God forbid if my jars start popping in the freaking canner, because they got to be in there for 90 minutes. So I'm just going to make sure that my lids are not on very tight. Even though I'm doing finger tight, right? Okay, so hold on. Look at that. Okay, so that's what I got left. So So that's half. I use half, right? Pretty much, you think? Maybe more? Less? I don't know. Anyway, so this is 90 minutes because it's got no bones and it's quart size, right? So now I'm going to clean up the mess, wash everything, and halfway through my time, right, then I'm going to start preparing my jars for the next batch. I'm going to try and get 7 more jars, and then that's basically 14 jars. That's what I got with the 2 turkeys, and then whatever broth tomorrow, because it's getting late. It's already 11:30, so I probably won't be done till about 2 or 3. Right? But then when it's done, and then tomorrow will be whatever leftover broth, depending on how much I use. I used pretty much, I still got, well, I still might get a few quarts of broth, and this broth is really tasty. So, we'll see. Hold on. Okay, so I got like 22 minutes left before this first batch is done. Right? I don't know. It's going on 1 in the morning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use that fat that I skimmed off the broth, put it into my cast iron frying pan. I'm going to heat it up, and because I'm not so rushed right now, right? Because I have to wait for this to cool down anyway, right? I'm going to sizzle them gently. We'll see. It's already practically cooked through, so I don't even know if that's a good idea. Honestly, it might be better just to cut them up. I'll let you know. Maybe I'll try 2. We'll see. This other stuff in here, I'm thinking, get this out now and turn on my oven to 350. Maybe 375. And bring it up fast, cook it, and then put that into the jars, right, as I go, right? This is what I cut. It's probably not enough with what's in there for 7 jars, right? Because that thing was full, and I probably took out 2/3. So I might get 5 jars, right? I'm watching this here. Right, I'm tired. Andre likes turkey, so I'm trying to leave some out, right, for turkey sandwich. Right, there's just enough there for, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 turkey sandwiches. So my son might like a turkey sandwich too, right? So anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so I took it out of the oven. You can see what we have here, right? So I turned on my oven. Now I have my timer on my stove, so I don't know what I did. I know I had like 20 minutes left, so anyway, I'm going to heat my oven up. I'll put that back in the oven, and I'm going to cook that. I was going to put it at 370. I put it at 375, right? And it's preheating right now, but I don't know if that kicked out my timer. What do you think? See, that's what I want. Just a little bit of that. Now this will be pretty much cooked through because it's sat in the oven with the heat on. And then I turned off the heat, and of course it stayed warm. And now I'm heating it up again. I used the fat that I skimmed off the stock. I don't know, I'm afraid to touch my stove. Right, I don't know how much time. If I push time, it won't tell me the time, I don't think. Right, hold on. Okay, so now it's going on 1:30 in the morning. I just wanted to say, this breast meat, I think it's going to can pretty good because it's kind of spongy. I don't know if it was because it was frozen and just by the way I cooked it, but if you boil it, it tends to flake more, right? I mean, look how nice that is. You slice that for sandwiches, boy, that's nice, right? But when you get into boiling it, it's different. It's different, right? And there is a difference between canning it raw and canning it like this. Apparently this is supposed to be better in terms of texture. Okay, so I want, before I use this, you see that? I just don't want the camera getting too close. I want to bring it up to a boil. I want it bubbling, so I think I'm going to bring it up to, I'm going to put it on 450 because I just want to bring it to a high heat and just boil it for a few minutes. And then what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all that and I'm going to distribute it evenly between the 7 jars. I'm hoping I'll get 7. You know, I don't think I'm going to get 7 jars here, people. I really don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 with that. So, but I can distribute between the 6 jars, right? I'll do between 6 jars. Oh, I don't know what to do. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So this is working out pretty good. This is really tasty. This is even tastier. And look how much I have left yet. I might get lucky and get like 3 or 4 jars. I only filled this up about 2/3 of the way. Right? If I need a little more, I can add more. So, I'm thinking maybe I might be, this is nice. Make even a little bit of soup too, right? Hold on. Oh yeah, before I forget. You see this? That's the only thing that got wasted. Right there. I cut that off the breasts as they were unthawing. Outside of that, it's all in there. And the bones and that kind of stuff went to the raccoons, cats, and skunks. Right? Just put that stuff outside and everybody has their turn. Yeah, I got a little skunk running around here. He's been running around here for years. Hides out in my yard sometimes. One time I caught him in Mr. Lace's cat house. I locked him in. Yeah. Oh, what time is it? To 2 in the morning, and I haven't even switched over the canner yet. And you have to do this for 90 minutes. Okay, so I just took this out of the oven. Okay. This was the turkey breast. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute this between, well, I'm going to do 6 jars because I don't think I'm going to get 7. I don't think. Right? We'll see. We'll see what we get. So I just kind of want it evenly, and I'm putting it on the bottom versus mixing it up in with the chicken like I did with the last one. I want to see what will happen. Alright. Now I'm going to put the juice and everything in there. Right? Hold on. Okay. So, now it's 20 after 2 in the morning. Cuckoo. right? So the thing about doing it this way versus buying canned turkey in a store is that you get to make it the way you want it in the jar versus buying a can of turkey that's probably just been canned with a bit of salt and nothing else. And it's a different kind of canning process in terms of like it's in a can, right? So you're not going to get the diversity, because I'm telling you people, this looks pretty good. Right? And this broth is wicked. It's like, it's so good. It's like spot on. Right? Like these jars are coming out nice. So all I got was 13 jars, but that's okay. And I still got turkey, right, for sandwiches. And I still have a few jars of turkey broth to can tomorrow. So 90 minutes at least. Okay? Because of the meat. The meat overrides everything else. Right? Apparently, corn is 85 minutes. I don't know why. Maybe because of the kernel. Right? Whereas carrots are 30 minutes. I read 25 minutes, and then I read another recipe where it said 30 minutes. But corn is 85 minutes. And any kind of meat in a quart-sized jar, you're looking at 90 minutes. Less if it has a bone. And if it's a fish, you're looking at 100 to 110 minutes. Right? 1 inch off the rim. Now what I did is I cut these bigger. A lot of these pieces are in bigger chunks, right? But there's less of them in there. There's a little more where the heat can travel through. Right? Now I haven't debubbled it yet. Oh, I'm getting tired. I don't know how I'm going to manage for the next 2 hours. I have some old cucumbers I found in the yard that need to be de-seeded. But I'm telling you, I just want to go lay down. And if I lay down, though, I'll fall asleep. I can't fall asleep. I've done canning all day and still finding myself canning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Finishing. You can hear it in my voice. I sound tired. So just give it a little bit of, right, that. So that turkey breast, I think, is going to hold up a whole lot different than the one that was cooked in a pot. You can see. You can tell which one is the turkey breast and which one was in the pot. Right? I tried to put a little bit of brown meat in all the jars. Right, just a little bit. See how you can see how that's moving around? Right, this one here is a little more tighter. But there's still lots of liquid. You can see that, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, now that's the first batch, right? And if you notice, see? It leached, but that's okay. Because what's in there with the air and just whatever needs to come out, otherwise the jar cracks. So again, finger tight, and if you feel that your jar is kind of full, you can go just a tad bit less than finger tight. Because if you notice these things, look, do you see? Where this one's okay. This one didn't move. But look. Where the problem happens is when the actual rim pops off. Okay, now it's 2:45 in the morning. So I changed the water, cleaned the pot, because turkey's greasy, right? So I washed it with soap, changed the water. I put warm water in. My jars are hot, right? Because of everything, the broth and whatnot. I heated it up. And now I'm going to put the lid on, and I got another hour and a half to go. So if it's going on 2:45, by the time it starts cooking, it will be 3. So I'll be able to turn this thing off at 4:30 in the morning, people. Okay, so it's like 11 minutes after 3 in the morning now. Remember I told you I wasn't done yet? Do you know how big that pumpkin is? That pumpkin is huge. I've never seen a pumpkin that big outside of in a picture. Okay. My son took Andre to the pumpkin patch, and they came back with that. Andre picked that pumpkin. And apparently, the pumpkin came from the United States of America because the people who planted the pumpkin patch didn't plant enough. They weren't expecting all these people showing up to get pumpkins. So they only apparently planted like 1/3 of their normal crop, and they were running out of pumpkins, so they had to order pumpkins from the States, and they would go out at night and put pumpkins in the field so that when the people came the next day, they could pick a pumpkin. So that pumpkin actually came from the States. So what's going to end up happening now, you can't can pumpkin, okay, for whatever reason, unless of course maybe it might be in a cube, right, where you've got that, you know, but outside of that, you can't mush it up and can it. They don't recommend it. I'm sure somewhere in the world has done it, but for what it's worth, you might as well just get it ready, put it in bags, and freeze it. So after that's carved out, sits out for a day, that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to be bringing it in, and I'm going to carve it, and I'm going to bring out my other pot, the one that I put away, and I'm going to more than likely cook it up. Yeah, you have to strain it, but whatever, I'll deal with it. And then I'm going to freeze it, and we'll have maybe more pumpkin pie, right? And obviously pumpkin seeds. This thing though, this canner though, oh, I think after tonight, that's it. And when I wash it, I'm taking it down. The only reason it was still up here was because I took off this, right, getting ready, you know, to put it away, and I'm looking for the directions and I can't find the directions. So that's the only reason it's been sitting on my stove for the last couple of weeks. Well, yeah, a couple of weeks, a week anyway. I've been looking for the directions, but I can't find them. I may have stuck them in with my other canner, I don't know. Or maybe they got put underneath something else in terms of papers. So anyway, after this though, I am definitely taking this canner downstairs and I'm putting it away. But I'm going to have to bring up that other pot, my big round one, or go in to Andre's playroom and get that one. Either or, probably the one downstairs because it's wide, right? I like that. And it's deep, and it's got a nice heavy bottom on it, right? So, I'm going to be doing pumpkin yet. So now it's 3:15 in the morning. I have to do this for an hour and a half. We're getting pretty much at our counting time. And we're just going to have to let it run its course, right? Okay, I am done. 5:45 in the morning. So this would be October 31st, 2020. Okay, so we lost a little bit of grease, but that's okay. Look at that. Isn't that nice? What do you think about that? Not bad. Okay, so I'm going to upload this video now. We know I'm still going to do some turkey broth. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 jars anyway, right? Maybe 4, it depends, right? And then of course we've got this pumpkin that I'll be cooking up between tomorrow and the next day and getting it ready for the freezer after it's been on display for a day. It's only going to get cut today, I think. I don't know. Today's 31st, it's still sitting there. So anyway, I'm cooking this one, you can see. And that one, and I'm freezing it after the fact of whatever they're going to do with these pumpkins. No, I didn't lose that much liquid, considering all things said. Right, you can see the liquid line, for the most part. This one's a little low, but the majority of them are pretty good. So I'm impressed.